testing. Is this thing on? Hello everyone, welcome to OriGenaros, a very special episode for lots of different reasons, and I'm about to tell you what those reasons are. Firstly, but maybe not quite as importantly, this show is broadcast from my very room, which is an absolute tip. I might show you it in a bit if you promise to stay watching. But in the meantime, you're going to have to take my word for what a tip it is. I can barely move. I just trip over things all the time, amps and pedals and wires and, you know, dirty clothes. But luckily my mum's in France, so because my mum's in France I can't get told off for being a disgusting musical oik, you know. But anyway, so hello mum, hello dad. Right, secondly, most importantly, my housemate Mr. Chris Payne, who lives below this very room downstairs, has just released his Christmas single. It's called Bottoms Up. Everyone needs to go out and buy it and share it and spread it out across the world because it's the best Christmas song ever. And I speak as a person who personally hates Christmas songs. Most of them, not all of them actually, you know. I guess Fairy Tale in New York was always my favourite originally because it wasn't a silly, cheesy Christmas song, you know. I know it's not even Shane McGowan's favourite song, Fairy Tale in New York. Apparently he doesn't like it very much, but then I suppose if you get asked for it enough times, it's probably the same as Oasis. They probably get fed up with playing Wonderwall. And so does everyone else. That's funny. Anyway, so here I am in my room with what I'm going to call a cup of tea in a Genaro mug. Genaro. That's me, I'm Si Genaro, the guy that can't pronounce his own name. So I'm playing the Telecaster just for fun. Sounds great. If anyone wants to buy a guitar or amp, speak to me because I do sell stuff. Just for fun. No one sells things for profit, do they? Anyway, so Christmas song Bottoms Up by Chris Payne. Go out and buy it. I think when I say Chris Payne, also search Hightown Parade because it may be released under Hightown Parade, which is Chris's old band. You'll find it, it's out there everywhere. It's called Bottoms Up. The video is fantastic. It was recorded in the kitchen in this very house downstairs, which I can tell you one thing is a lot tidier than my room. Anyway, we have got a really fun-packed show for you this week, and if you're wondering why I'm broadcasting it from my room this time, it's because it's just too cold outside. You know, all the stuff in the car is all well and good, but honestly, I was going to freeze my naddies off, so I thought, no, don't bother doing that this time. You know, so we have got a really, really good show, and after the show as well, we've got a special featuring Steve Longham and the Long Road. Steve Longham? Where did I get that from? Steve Bonham. Steve Bonham and the Long Road. Steve Longham and the Bond Road. It's Steve Bonham and the Long Road because Matt, the producer, and we went up to interview those guys, socially distanced, in very famous studios called Woodworm up in Oxford, and it was just marvellous. And we just did our thing and interviewed the guys and had coffee, and it was just really, really nice. And those guys are just so cool. And after this show, this very show, you can watch the doco of the interview. Yeah, the interview. So that's great. Obviously this week we've got some fantastic videos coming up. The first one you're about to see. So baby, cry.
Spend all these lonely nights waiting for you. Cry, baby. yet another day. Maybe time will bring us back again. And if it don't work out, then it must be the end. Holding on, hoping to find that I was wrong. I gotta be strong. Cry, cry, baby, why do I cry? Why do I spend all these lonely nights waiting for you? Cry, cry, baby, I don't know why. Whatever happened to days gone by? 'Cause all I do is cry. Baby, cry. Baby, cry. Cry, baby, why do I cry? Why do I spend all these lonely nights waiting for you? Cry, cry, baby, I don't know why. Whatever happened to days gone by? 'Cause all I do is cry. Baby, cry. Baby, cry.
That was Mr. Barry Upton with Cry Baby Cry. Now, Barry Upton is one of our regular contributors. He is an absolute legend. He used to be in the Brotherhood of Man. Seriously, he was in that band. And he also was the guy that put the legendary young people band Steps together. If anyone remembers Steps, each was my favourite, I think. Yeah, so he put them together. And he's renowned for sending us fabulous videos from where he lives in Thailand, where he basically just succeeds in making, making everyone else's life look completely ordinary, because he lives in Thailand and just sort of runs around with all these beautiful women all the time. And generally, the trademarks of his music videos are, beautiful women and, nice guitars and all that sort of stuff. Beautiful women doing, sexy things. And his songs are always really catchy, great pop songs. He's fantastic. And he also likes Epiphone Les Pauls, which means he's instantly endeared himself to me just for that reason, because I'm a big fan of Epiphone Les Pauls. There's one on the wall right there. Anyway, that is Barry Upton, and actually this song was a slightly different turn for him. Actually, slightly more introspective. Beautiful work at the grand piano there. Lovely work on the strings and the flute there with the ladies. And the lady's not so scantily clad as you might normally expect from Barry Upton, but absolutely fantastic song, Cry Baby Cry. It's doing really well in the charts all over the place, all over the world, and he's one to watch. He's a fantastic guy. He's got a great sense of humour. He's a brilliant player. He writes great songs, and I can't speak highly enough of him. So now it's this, from Lucy Wilde.
little walls I built were unwritten. No, they weren't written. But you see me as you see me as I
I thought I'd just do that because that song was absolutely beautiful. That was Flow by Lucy Wilde. And Lucy Wilde, Wilde spelt W-Y-L-D-E, and you can find more about her on Lucy Wilde Music, at Lucy Wilde Music. Her debut EP is out on Bandcamp, I believe. That song was called Flow. It was all about Mother Earth and her love for things natural and beautiful in the world. I absolutely love the sentiment. I get the feeling that she could just happily live in a forest, at a beautiful rainforest somewhere, and be completely at home without needing television or, pot noodle or crisps. Although at one point I did think she was smoking one of those naughty Jamaican cigarettes, the ones that Bob Marley used to like, the type. It looked like she was walking around with a great big one of those, but it wasn't. I believe it was an incense stick or something like that, you know, a nice big burning incense. He's probably thinking, this idiot doesn't know anything about natural stuff and countryside. Well, I mean, I live in the countryside and I appreciate it, you know. I really do. I don't know where that was filmed, but it was absolutely beautiful. Lucy Wilde, definitely one to watch. That was absolutely beautiful. I just said absolutely beautiful. I've said it 3 times now. I must have liked it. Let's just go with that. I think we'll go with that, don't you? So this is OriGenaros. Don't forget, if you want to send us your video, please send us your video. If it's an original music video, what you wrote yourself, or if you know someone that does, we will play it on the show. And you just need to send them to hangoverhill@gmail.com. Basically, MP4 or .mov file, and we'll play it. We'll make you famous, and we do care. I do this because I love doing it. It's so nice to see people's videos and hear people's original music and get introduced to new artists, because that's what it's all about, especially while the whole lockdown shenanigans been going on. We've all been a little bit stifled and a bit starved of music, so it's great when people are connecting like that and putting it out. So I thank everyone who contributes to the show, and if you can keep sharing this show out, everyone. Hope you're enjoying it. Obviously, I'm a bit random. I don't write a script. I'm my own cameraman. I film the thing wherever I feel like every week, and we just go with it. So hopefully you're enjoying it. Do let me know. Answers on a postcard, London NW18QT. Yada yada blah blah. Okay. Now this next young lady is actually coming to stay with us next week, I believe. Can't think why, but she's absolutely fantastic. You might have seen this, watched this track before, because we have played it a couple of times. That's how much we love it. This is Alice Kalari.
Oh yeah. Thought I'd be weak when I'm standing strong. You thought I'd have nothing. Well, you were wrong. 'Cause since the day you walked away, I've been free. I needed a man, not a little boy. Now that we're done, go play with your toys. You took everything from me, but you won't take my dignity. The pain, the shame, the tears have been down from my face. The nights, those fights, now all gone since you're out of my life. I'm free, so free, baby, I'm free. Oh yeah, I'm free, 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 so free, baby, I'm free. I always knew you'd be trouble for me, but when I try and run, what you said to me. But now I ain't got time for your silly games. Pack your bags and you need to be free. The pain, the shame, the tears have been down from my face. The nights, those fights, now all gone since you're out of my life. I'm free, so free, baby, I'm free. Oh yeah, I'm free, 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 so free, baby, I'm free. Oh yeah. Abuse me, you took my breath away, and now I want it back. I will fight with all my might to get the life I once had. Free, 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 so free, 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 so free, 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 I'm so free, 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 so free, 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 so free, free. Baby, I'm free. Oh yeah. the tears have been down from my face. The nights, those nights, no gone since you're out of my life. I'm free, so free, baby, I'm free, yeah, yeah. I'm free, 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 so free, baby, I'm free. Now, boy, listen to me. I'm doing just fine without you. Because, baby, I am free. Baby, I am free.
Do you or any of your friends suffer aches and pains or ongoing ill health? Is their standard of well-being in need of some TLC? Bio-wellness scanning could be the solution. Every cell in your body has its own natural frequency. However, sometimes these frequencies get thrown off course by the rigors and tribulations of modern life. And your body is trying to cope with repairing or trying to repair damaged cells. We can put your cells back to their natural frequency with our simple but effective and non-invasive technology. Using this technology gives your body the well-needed boost to enable it to ride out health problems and improve wellness, using its own natural resources. It's a little like tuning the engine in your car. A few tweaks to the frequencies here and there make a whole world of difference, helping your day-to-day living go smoother. Bio-wellness scanning is a non-intrusive way of finding out if your body needs a little tuning, and then giving it the TLC it deserves. Please email johncox04@gmail.com for more details or to arrange an appointment.
Okay, that was Alice Kalari with Free. We played that on the show before because we love that track. It's brilliant. She dances around in the street. She highlights some very beautiful graffiti pieces and manages to have a whole lot of fun with all her friends. Brilliant video. It actually won Music Video Awards, the London categories, back in July. Now, was that July this year, or have we spent so long in lockdown that I'm getting my time mixed up? I don't know, but it was definitely in a July. And it was either this year or last year. Anyway, Alice Kalari's brilliant, and we will be doing a special on Alice Kalari on this show very sometime soon. And it'll be a standalone show, an Alice Kalari special. So we'll be interviewing her and stuff, probably when she comes down to stay, assuming she still is. I'm not even sure about that. I did hear she was coming to stay, although God knows what would possess her to come and stay with us, but there you go. Who knows what goes on in the mind of young people? Yeah, right, so Alice Kalari, Free, absolutely brilliant. She's just got loads of energy, wonderful bluesy voice, just banging. By the way, if anyone can tell me answers on a postcard again how many times I said absolutely beautiful after the last video before Alice Kalari, then I'm not going to do anything about that at all, apart from go, oh my God, I really need to get my vocabulary together and come up with some new words. Anyway, this now is one of my favourite songs I've heard in a long time, and we've featured this artist a couple of times before on our show. She's from up the Northampton way. She's a fantastic uniquely. I'm inventing new words this week, readers. When I say readers, I mean viewers. So, yes, she's brilliant. Just watch the video and decide for yourself. And then I'll talk more about her, hopefully in a sensible manner, afterwards. This is Corinna Jane.
Oh, it's this funny thing called life, and we're making sense of it. Lost. Sometimes I think that's all I feel. Oh, why don't you give me a sign? Like the sea that leaves a trail along the shore. It's not your problem, it's mine. While the world still spins, your life begins. But that is just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign about the things that we don't know. Life. Sometimes I want to feel the pain, 'cause it makes me feel alive. Love. Well, it's the only thing we know will carry on when we're long gone. Why don't you give me a sign? Like the sea that leads a trail along the shore. It's not your problem, it's mine. So for the light that leads me to your door. While the world still spins, new life begins. But that is just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign about the things that we don't know. Oh, I've been trying to numb the loneliness inside, always searching for the cure. I guess that's something we all do. Why don't you give me a sign? Like the sea that leaves a trail along the shore. It's not your problem, it's mine. So pour the light that leads me to your door. While the world still spins, new life begins. But that is just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign about the things that we don't know. Why don't you give me a sign? It's not your problem, it's mine. While the world still spins, new life begins. And that is just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign, give me a sign, give me a sign. Life.
How amazing is she? That is Corinna Jane with Give Me a Sign. And Give Me a Sign is from the forthcoming EP, The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands EP that Corinna Jane actually produced in Rome with Francesco Arpino. I believe, hopefully I've pronounced that right. He was the actual producer on that track. He produced Queen of Wands EP, which will be out soon. I'm not sure when it's out. Maybe it's already out. I don't think it's out yet. But I've had a sneak preview of that, and I can tell you it's just epic. So that was Give Me a Sign. Corinna Jane's absolutely fantastic. She looked like she was enjoying herself there in the forest. It seems to be a bit of a theme, actually, doesn't it? You know, girls, you know, dancing around in the forest, provocatively singing beautiful songs, and just, you know, reminding us that there's a world outside our, you know, our immediate window, and you know, a beautiful green world where if you're lucky you might find a wooden den to hang around in. Because Corinna Jane, did you build that, Corinna? Did you build that wooden den? Those things, I believe, are known as benders. I don't know whether that was a proper bender. It might not have been built properly to bend, because I think the reason they're called benders is when they make the ones out of branches, they have to bend the branches and somehow weave them in. This is what I remember from when I used to hang around in a hippie school. I'm just being a silly person now. I have actually stayed in a bender once though with a bunch of travelling New Age traveller people on Dartmoor years and years ago, and there were a family of goats that used to hang around down by the river right there. And then we'd go out foraging, and then when we came back, the goats had just moved in, and they're all just sitting around, making themselves at home, drinking tea and smoking cigarettes, and just being goaty. You know what goats are like, they're very assuming, aren't they? They just do their own thing. Anyway, going back to Corinna Jane, she is fantastic. So, she's been releasing music for a while, and every song that she releases is always completely unique and original, and her videos are absolutely fantastic. The production level, the entertainment factor, very professional and always fantastic. So go and check out Corinna Jane, www.corinnajane.com. Queen of One's EP to be released very soon. And a big shout out to Francesco Arpino for doing such a great job on the production. Corinna went over to Rome to do that. I did mention that before, but the one thing I love doing is repeating myself, because that way I haven't got to think of any new things to say. Anyway, Corinna's fantastic. We also did a special where we went up and interviewed her, which you can see. It's on the website, Hangover Hill TV. You'll find it out there. You can watch that. We did show it. I think, have we showed it already? I don't know. We'll show it again anyway. Don't worry about that. We went and interviewed Corinna Jane at the pub where she recorded her other single, The Train, which is one of my faves. And me and Matt went up there and interviewed her, and that was really good fun. And I drank some red wine because I wasn't driving. Rock and or roll. You know, so yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Corinna Jane, everyone. That was Give Me a Sign, absolutely fantastic. And now we have this from Skinny Knowledge.
Out, I'm uncomfortable without saying a single word. It's in the eyes, it's in the eyes. They're telling lies, they're telling lies. I don't know what direction we're gonna go from here. Something's gotta give out before I lose my
That was an homage to my mate. I forgot what he's fucking called. It's all right, Matt can edit that out, or he can leave it in. That was an homage to my mate Andy L. Smooth, whose band you just heard. That was Skinny Knowledge. Yes, Knowledge, but Knowledge does have a silent K at the front. Skinny Knowledge with their new single. That's their debut single. It's called Imagination. They are absolutely fantastic. I've known Andy L. Smooth for quite a while, and he's a brilliant, brilliant musician. Fabulous live performer on stage, and some people might also remember him from legendary local, if you're local around the Bournemouth area, local covers band Cult 45, who every now and then come out of retirement to do their last ever gig, and then they do another one a few months down the road. And obviously Chris Payne is in that same band. So you would have seen him in Cult 45, you would have seen him playing drums with many people, because he is one of the most talented drummers I know, and he wasn't even playing drums on that track, was he? He's a brilliant songwriter, he's a fantastic guitarist. I can't say anything bad about the bloke at all. He even let me drive his car once. What are the chances of that happening? Who would trust me to drive their car? I wouldn't trust anyone to, I wouldn't trust... I wouldn't... What am I trying to say? No one should trust me to drive their car, is what I'm saying. Let's just keep this short and sweet. That's Skinny Knowledge with their debut single, Imagination. Absolutely brilliant. Just love the energy of that. And In Your Face, Green Day. Yeah, just brilliant, brilliant band, and you have to go and see them live. I've not seen them live yet, but I've seen Andy live in various different incarnations, bands and things, and he's always bloody brilliant. So, yes, go out and buy the single. He's absolutely brilliant. Skinny Knowledge. Right, and now we have this from Marcus Wilde featuring Cat Elliott.
Pressure these days, this information age, data overload crushing me. This world spins algorithmically, robots predictive speech, and the driving seat is this humanity's peak. Well, that may be okay, for love is all automated, but I want to escape. I want to get back to basics. I want to get back to basics. Take me back, take me back.
I don't feel no connection to this modern day utopia. Am I supposed to? I don't feel no connection to this modern day utopia. Am I supposed to? I don't feel no connection to this modern day utopia. Am I supposed to? I don't feel no connection to this modern day utopia. Am I supposed to?
Okay, so the more astute of you will notice that I'm still wearing the same t-shirt. How absolutely amazing was that track? That is called Primordial, and that is by Marcus Wilde featuring Cat Elliott. Absolutely brilliant. It's actually, it was done for Extinction Rebellion, that was. I believe all the proceeds from that track, which was actually released last year in 2019, all the proceeds go towards the Extinction Rebellion movement, which is obviously a very worthwhile cause because... let's face it, we are on a one-way trip to destruction and decimation if we don't sort it out. So those guys are on a very good tip. I just love that video so much. It's one of the best things I've seen in ages. I don't know how they got the faces on those guys. Was that just their normal faces, or is that? I don't know. The whole tribal thing, you know, the tribal fishing and the whole London, it just really made you look at London in a different way. And it was just a beautifully done video. Just really, really loved that. I had to watch it like 3 times in a row because look at my hair. I had to watch it 3 times in a row because that's how I was emotionally involved with that track very much. Primordial, it's called, and it's by Marcus Wilde featuring Cat Elliott. Cat Elliott is a great singer. She does lots of her own stuff, and she joined forces with Marcus there for that fantastic video, and really just absolutely ticks all the boxes for me. Just absolutely love that. And now we have something really beautiful from Rich Lown.
Long nights and bad dreams are bringing me down. And I feel it's coming on, second time round. All I want is you to see. I know it's not much, and every bone you pick with me, you make your life tough. How long must I wait? And how long is too long? And how far must I go? Maybe I'm right from your wrongs. I don't know if you can be what you can't see. When you're sleeping next to me in your fake reality, oh, ooh. How long must I wait? And how long is too long? And how far must I go? Maybe I'm right from your wrongs. Maybe I'm right from your wrongs. How long is too long? And how far must I go? And maybe I'm the right from your wrongs. Maybe I'm the right from your wrongs. And baby, I'm the right.
Okay, that was Rich Lown, who is from East Sussex, and he's been nominated Best Male. He won some awards, definitely, a couple of years ago, and he's fantastic. But he's moved to Bournemouth now, so lock up your daughters. And I'll probably best lock up my girlfriend, or someone else's girlfriend, doesn't matter. That's Rich Lown with his absolutely beautiful track, Right From Your Wrongs. And I don't know how he got access to that grand piano, because no one will ever let me play one of those. It's a bit like driving someone else's car, isn't it? It shouldn't really happen. But that beautiful grand piano, is that his piano? I don't know. Rich, was that your piano? Because if it is, can I come round and have a go at it? I'm not brilliant on the piano, but honestly, you just can't beat one. That was absolutely beautiful. A very nice, beautiful lament. He's got a fantastic voice, glittering songwriting career, and also great pedigree, credentials there, because Prudentials? I'm with the Prue. Who are you? I think I'm going a little bit cuckoo. Anyway. What I'm trying to say is that Rich Lown has, L-W-O-N by the way, has toured with Joan Armour Trading, which is a big deal, even if she does go around dropping pilots. And he's also had support slots with Boyzone, Top Loader and Squeeze. So he's definitely a man to watch out for, and I'm looking forward to hearing more stuff from him because I really enjoyed that. Okay, now we have this from Alma Ranker and the Round Coloured Note. Well, what about that? That was a beautiful and very luscious soundscape there from Al Maranka and the Round Coloured Note, also known as the Round Coloured Note. Al Maranka is very well known all around the world. His music gets played everywhere. He's collaborated with so many famous people that I wouldn't even dare try and humiliate myself by trying to name them all, but he's really, really well known on the music scene, and we featured his music before. He's absolutely fantastic. That was actually an instrumental piece called Song for Daniel, and I love the video. It's featured lots of magnificent men on top of their flying machines, all performing feats of extreme bravery and danger on bendy poles and various balancing things and high buildings, and I do hope no one was hurt in the making of that video, although it looked like it was possibly made in black and white, so it was obviously in the old days before colour was invented. Absolutely brilliant though. I love Al Maranka. I think he's really, really good. His last track that we played on here, what was it? Knickers, I can't remember. It doesn't matter what it was called. It was bloody brilliant. Just go out and find Al Maranka and also search the Round Coloured Note, and you'll find him and a beautiful wealth of gorgeous music. He's a multi-instrumentalist, producer, creates all his own stuff, and I just love those soundscapes. It's just very, very inspiring to hear music like that. Are you enjoying this week's OriGenaros? I do hope so, because if you're not, I'll try harder next week. Okay, now I think this might be the final track, so that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? But don't worry, I'll talk about it afterwards. This is the Andy Grant Band. Yeah, okay, that was an absolute banger from the album Dig the Darkness. That was the Andy Grant Band with Thursday's Child. Yes, Thursday's Child. Bang. Don't know what happened to the rest of the week's children, but Thursday's Child was an absolute... was a very precocious child, and therefore got a song made about them. Andy Grant is a very, very interesting character indeed. We featured his music before last time, just to show you how versatile he was. I believe he was playing acoustic guitar and doing a great job of it on a solo track, but this time he joined forces with the other two band members for this live take, Thursday's Child, and that is bassist Simon Rushbrook and drummer Jack Revy, or is it Revy? Jack, I hope I've got that right, because when I go and see them live, I do not want to get punched in the face for getting people's names wrong. Absolutely brilliant. You know you want to see them live, because, anyway, what was I saying about, about Andy Grant? He basically used to work in the gold mines in South Africa. Can you believe that? In the gold mines. And since then, everything he touches turns to gold, because of the gold dust on his fingers from the mines. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, after that, he decided to take his music on the road, and he got out there and he toured from Copenhagen to Melbourne to Copenhagen to all over the... said Copenhagen twice now. Melbourne to Copenhagen and all over the world, playing his music and sharpening his musical skills. And he's just out there in the world now creating brilliant music, and I've really, really enjoyed that. So I think that kind of rounds up the show for this week. We have got a special coming up though, so you need to stay tuned. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I'll tell you about it now, really, because I haven't got anything else to say. Thanks for watching me. This is my room. I did promise, didn't I? I did actually promise that I would show you how messy this room is. So now I'm going to show you very quickly. I'm picking up the camera, which is goes against all the laws of... Look, see, it's just a tip of amps and a picture. There's a picture, and it's just, I mean... And you know, it's just guitars and just general sort of detritus on the floor. There's that cup of tea from earlier that I forgot to drink. That's cold now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching OriGenaros. This has been a great privilege and a pleasure to bring you all these beautiful artists and their lovely music from all around the world. Please keep sending your tracks in hangoverhill@gmail.com. It's our great pleasure to play them. We also have a radio station on Hangover Hill, so you can get on the radio. We do interviews. We'll travel to meet people within reason. Share this show out to everyone, please, because we're just doing it by ourselves. It's all self-funded, and I think we might have got a couple of sponsors, but I still can't afford a pair of shoes, but I mean, I don't need shoes because I'll use rollerblades or something. Anyway, thanks very much. See, it's all wobbly now, isn't it? Let's try and stop the wobble for the last bit. Stay tuned now, because coming up right after this is our fabulous documentary interview special with Steve Bonham and The Long Road. Okay, from me, Genaro, I will be back next week with more OriGenaros. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Bye! Okay, I'm sitting in Matt Black's car, and this is an OriGenaros special. Matt Black is driving, that's why it's his car.
Oh, that's right.
He was driving, he's just taken his hands off the steering wheel. Luckily he's got autopilot fitted, and we're cruising at just below light speed at an altitude of several metres. This is great, and today we are going to, I was going to say Wormwood Studios, but it's not that, it's Woodworm Studios. Wormwood is something else to do with Chernobyl and conspiracy theories, and that actor bloke who was on that record by that freaky band The Orb. Never mind all that. We are actually coming up here to the studio where Steve Bonham and The Long Road are recording. Is it an EP or an album, Matt?
Album, I think.
It's an album, and we're going to interview Steve Bonham, which is very exciting because he is a well-travelled man in the music business. So come with us as we go deeper into the world of Steve Bonham and The Long Road. Hello, viewers, welcome to this very special episode of OriGenaros. We have travelled in this beautiful weather all the way up to Woodworm Studios, where we are about to indulge in a little interview with the legendary Steve Bonham on the Long Road. And we were wondering if we were at the right place, weren't we, Matt?
Yeah, well, there's a guitar in the window and there's a picture of Steve Bonham in the window, as you pointed out. So
There you go. See, so there it says Steve Bonham on the Long Road, Renegade Americana. So we know we're in the right place. So let's go and see what happens, shall we? Okay, viewers, well, you don't want to be waiting around for ages, so we'll see you in the next bit. So we're walking around the side because we didn't get any answer on the front door, and oh, it looks like someone's been having a party. Okay, keep walking. There's Matt. Did you find anyone?
no, it's very slippery. There's an open door at the back.
Oh, there's an open door. Let's follow Matt, but careful not to slip on this slippery surface. You didn't fall over, did you, Matt?
No.
Matt did not fall over. We're now tapping on the back door.
Wonderful building, isn't it?
It is a wonderful building. And look at all the greenery. See, you pick the right day to do things and everything's great. Well, no one's answering at the moment, so we'll see you in a bit, viewers. Hello, everyone. This is OriGenaros special with Steve Bonham and the Long Road.
Whoa. Hello then.
Now, the chap in the middle is Steve Bonham. So the other two guys, we have to assume, are the Long Road. Is this
We are,
correct?
yes.
Yeah.
Whatever form that is, we are the Long Road.
We are two lanes of a dual carriage lane.
So this is Chris, who plays piano-style things and possibly other things. Do you play other stuff?
Well, yeah, piano is the main thing, but I play Hammond organ and tuba as well, actually.
Tuba.
And my most recent purchase is a sousaphone, which we're going to be putting down on a couple of the tracks we're recording right now, hopefully. Sousaphone's a big tuba bass, a big American sort of marching band instrument.
Wow, that sounds good. In case you're wondering where we are, by the way, we are in the famous Woodworm Studios in Oxfordshire, somewhere.
Is it?
And also on the other end we have Kev, who plays the...
Bass guitar and acoustic lead guitar and drums and stuff.
So a little bit of background. Steve Bonham and the Long Road have been featured on our OriGenaros show, and they do kind of artisan Americana style music. They draw on their own experiences, and the music is beautiful. A lot of you will have seen the videos already, and also if you've been listening to Matt Black, he's our cameraman, by the way. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
If you've been listening to his radio show on Hangover Hill, you will know that you'll have heard Steve Bonham and the Long Road quite a lot, because they're one of our personal favourites. We like them a lot. They've also got they're currently holding my favourite title of a song, which is The Girl with the Rattlesnake Heart.
That's it. Yeah.
It's a long time coming, this change in the times. Looking at the storm watch to give us a sign of the new day dawning that will tear us apart. I'm looking for a girl with a rattlesnake heart. She's got a rattlesnake heart. You know I'm a liar, but I got something that you might desire. It's a black arrow flying in the heart of the sun. I look for my knife 'cause I can't find my gun. Down on the levee they are making their plans to bust this thing open just to water the land. This whole place is burning, you can smell the fear. So start up the Chevy, let's get out of here. She's got a rattlesnake heart. You know I'm a liar, but I got something that you might desire. It's a black arrow flying in the heart of the sun. I look for my knife 'cause I can't find my gun. with a rattlesnake heart. She got a rattlesnake heart. You know I'm a liar, but I got something that you might desire. It's a black arrow flying in the heart of the sun. I look for my knife 'cause I can't find my gun.
So, Jed, how's it going in the studio first?
Well, I think we've certainly yesterday we had a hell of a day. We sort of look back on it and sort of with wonder really at how much we achieved in one working day. So it's going very well. We've really, Bish is our sort of secret weapon in that regard. He sort of puts everything down in military precision, what we're supposed to be doing. So we have a kind of an idea where we are at any given time. Are we ahead of schedule? Are we behind schedule? And we tend to, we sort of lock into it when we get here, don't we? It's like a home from home for us, and Stuart's like our fifth Beatle, you know. So we know we hit the ground running when we come in, and we're quite efficient when we get here, I think.
There's a comfort to being here because you feel like you can just have a go. You know, you can experiment with things. You know, we come prepared. We come really well prepared generally. But you know, we also occasionally just sort of poke each other and go, try something else, try this, try that. Yeah. And Stuart is brilliant at taming all of that stuff and making. And when it's rubbish, he said, no, let's not bother with that. But when it's a good idea, sort of the birth or something, he goes, yes, more of this.
Run with that, more of that.
So working with Stuart is just is brilliant. I love him.
So that's Stuart the engineer. What's his last name?
Stuart Jones.
Stuart Jones. Is he the guy that owns the studio as well?
He owns Woodland these days. And
this fabulous studio, yes, which apparently used to be Fairport Convention Studio. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Steeped in history, this place.
Yeah, well, in fact, that's an album I recorded here, which I just found on the wall, in 1985 or something like that.
Look in the fox. I'm liking the title.
And it's just everyone of that generation has recorded here. It's just the best ambience, nicest people around. So you've got Jethro Tull in here over the years, Richard Thompson. Looking up there, is it Tony Iommi? You know, they've all been.
Marsden.
Wow.
Yeah, they all. This is just. It's just got a place where people come to do work well.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that a vibe to it.
I'm feeling that as soon as I walked in, I'm feeling that I'm not worthy vibe now. That's it. You know, but in the best possible way. Because when you walk into a studio and you go and there's a shower in there, you get proper coffee here. Steve's porter machine that he brought with him. They've got some nice gear in the studio. It's really nice. So, Steve, how did the band form then?
Well, this is a long story, and I'll give you the short one. You know, that's probably the best way. Kev and I were at school together. But the story that we stayed playing together for 40 years is wrong, because I then didn't see him for nearly 40 years. So we'll just park him as the only musician in Derbyshire when I was bashing out 3 chords. Move on to meeting Chris. Chris is the most fully fledged musician I've ever worked with, and I'm not a proper musician, so one of the great things of working with these 2 guys is they know what they're doing, whereas I just kind of bash away really.
I can identify
that. So Chris and I have been doing stuff. I used to be in a folk band and a folk rock band and all that stuff you did in the 80s, and then failed to grow up and stopped for a while. But then Chris and I started. It's always probably 15 years ago now. 15 years ago. Both solo originally, then as a duo, and then one day we were on tour and we did a gig in Derby, and Kev reappeared. You know, now in the meantime, see, pause the narrative. In the meantime, this guy's not just gone away; he's gone away to be a proper musician. So he's, you know, you're looking at the guy who's played with Saxon, Christie, Witchcraft. I mean, he's done what most of our classmates, I suppose, then dreamt of. So For some reason, he liked the songs I was writing. He's bitterly regretted it ever since, but we just took over his life. He was minding his business, doing proper gigs all around Europe, and now he's holed up with us too. So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, we're a gang. That's simply what we are now. We're a gang. We make
That's-
music together.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's kind of a
are
happy
there any
accident.
other members of the band, or is it just primarily you three?
Just us now, because he plays everything, and what he doesn't play, he plays.
There you go. So it's a nice,
you know,
it's a
and
nice
actually-
nucleus of three there, and it's fantastic.
You know, you've got a problem now, and I'm sure you guys come across it. You know, like to put a big band on stage is just financial ruin.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you're better working as a three-piece
Yeah.
and covering off all the stuff. We've got brilliant musicians here, and then you know, when a festival or something where you need extra players, come on, you get them in, and they're part of the family anyway. So
Yeah, literally, we got my son in on drums when we did a festival last year.
so we've had other people come along. So that's great. That works. That's much more. That's the only way of doing it now. You can't.
And also, I mean, we don't. It doesn't hamstring us when it comes to recording because we put down what the song needs,
Yeah.
and then we sort of look at the songs. Right, how are we going to do this live? And it'll be slightly different, obviously, when we work as a three of us. But that's fun as well, to do it from a different angle.
I have to say, one of the things I find with watching your videos is everyone appears to be having a really good time.
Yeah.
And I love some of the backdrops. I mean, so obviously you disappeared and went to the wilderness for a while, the American wilderness.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Apparently you went walking in the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, I think one thing that kind of we've got to, maybe it's the age or just an attitude, we really believe you can only really write decent music from what you've experienced. And therefore, if you live in a suburb in the UK somewhere and that's all your experience, then you're going to write those sorts of songs, probably about domestic issues or something.
Yeah.
But, otherwise, put yourself out there on the road. So for me, I've always been a bit of a vagabond, really. I like heading out with a backpack and being out there for 3 or 4 weeks, just letting life come to you, So I did one trek from the top of the Atlas Mountains into the desert. I've dragged sledges of toboggans across the frozen lakes of Ontario, and this one, which I think gave us the boost up for what we're doing now, was a big trek through the Appalachian forests of Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and it's a part of the world which is, it's on the news all the time now, isn't it? Because of the elections. So it's a part of the world where it's so strangely different. You have to kind of keep getting your head around. This is not the fact everyone speaks English here. It's about the only thing we have in common with a true life experience there. Yeah, when you go and find that stuff on the road, the key thing is you go and find some big conversation or somebody you meet was quite extraordinary. But what you realise from that is they're saying something universal. Even though they may be living in a shack halfway up in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by drug dealers and OxyContin substitute makers, something about their life says something about all our lives.
Yeah.
And that switches us on as people. We're into that, We're into that way that music can communicate and excite and inspire and open people's eyes. Yeah.
I can totally feel that. I remember not being brave enough to walk through the Appalachian Mountains or having decent shoes enough for the job. I was driving across America and I got to Nebraska and I found this little museum. It just said museum. And I paid $1 to go in, and it was just like a little family who lived there, who just set up their own museum of all their own personal family history. And it was just intriguing. Dolls' houses, old Winchester shotguns, and just bits of trinkets and bric-a-brac. But it was so intriguing because it was just, they set it up to make a bit of money, and people could go in and look at their personal history. And it was one of the most intriguing things I'd ever seen in my life.
Fascinating.
But it probably wasn't on any maps or in any national, tour guides or anything. It was just there.
I mean, the thing that one of the sort of taglines that we've grown over the last few months is the extraordinary stories of ordinary folk. There's everybody's lives with these rich tapestry of things going on, and we happen to be tapping into them to express our stories and our thoughts and feelings on things, and we hope that we inspire other people to think about their own lives as well, maybe have a go at being creative or just being able to connect with themselves more. and seeing themselves in art around them is one of the things that it makes us wake up in the morning. It's one of the reasons for being alive is being able to experience those things. So I see myself in that, or that's inspired me to do this, or that kind of thing. It's why we do it.
Totally, but you wouldn't quite call yourself folk musicians, right? Because we say folk and everyone gets the wrong idea, don't you? But actually, because it is music of the people, but artisan music is, that's a thing.
Well, as Steve says, folk music is literally music of the people, so you can compare. You were saying the other day, you were comparing like a Scottish woman playing her pipes compared to sort of a guy sat with a banjo over in the southern states, whatever. It's music of the people. So in that sense, everything is folk music.
But it's people picking up the stuff around them, the stories and the tools they've got, and wanting to express those things. So
I get very irritable, but it's something about being old and grumpy, I just hate the rule setters, This is a country song, therefore you can't have more than 4 chords in it, and one of them's got to be a minor, otherwise, the Country Music Association police will hunt you down and kill you. This has got to be a folk song, so you've got to have at least half your finger stuck in your ear before you sing it, and just all that. Pardon the expression, it's nice TV. That shit undermines creativity and just gets in the way. I think we all are a bit anarchist. And I think artisan feels right because it says we hope we're craftspeople. We hope we're authentic. What you see is what you get. We hope we're inspired. We got something. And last of all, we hope we know the raw materials, and a joy of playing with these guys. These guys grew up, Kev is a walking library of rock music and all the people, he can talk about who played bass on some unheard of player in Memphis in 1963 and what he had for tea. I mean, he knows that much, but joking apart, he also plays all that stuff. He grew up in it, since he was 16, Chris, Professor Longhair, all those piano players, it's all in the blood. So we know the raw materials, but that doesn't mean we're in the replication business.
No. You've got your own original take on life. Well, that's so great, and it's like you do take people on a voyage of discovery, which which is just what we need. We don't want more of the same. It's nice to draw on influences, but it's actually really good to hear something new, isn't it? Yeah. So, Kev, what was it like playing with Saxon? I just have to ask.
Loud. It was back in a long time ago now, but I did 2 tours, 2 European tours with kind of the original 3, so Graham Oliver and Steve Dawson on bass for one tour where I just sang lead vocals, and one tour he didn't do it, so I was playing bass and singing lead vocals, and Nigel, one of the original drummers, and it's very physical. So after the show, I would literally have to go and lie down while my head got itself back together, because I would always have a headache at the end of every gig. So it was intense, but it was fantastic. It was, really great experience. Very intense gigs, people in your face.
I love the story you told the other week about the hotelier booking Saxon.
Oh yeah. We did a show in up near the Glenfiddich distillery, which we were given a tour around and some samples. And it was a guy who ran a hotel, and it was literally on a completely deserted crossroads in the middle of Scotland, and it was the hotel on one corner and a phone box on the other side, and that was it, and no other buildings nearby. And the guy said, I want to book Saxon for my hotel, and he had a small function room. And the manager at the time said, we should do this because it's a good publicity thing. So they said yes, and it got in the Scottish newspapers and everything. And we turned up, and the PA took up about a third of the room. And we sort of, well, where the hell are the people going to come from, you know? But they came, they did, you know, from all over the Highlands. All the bikers and everybody came, and it was literally one of those, you know, where the sweat gathers on the ceiling and then falls as rain.
Oh yeah.
And they're in your face, and it's I've been lucky enough to play gigs like Moscow Dynamo Stadium, you know, to thousands of people, but that gig with about 250 diehard rockers in your face was one of the greatest gigs I've ever done. It was amazing.
Yeah. So tell us. So what's the next record that's coming out?
So we're finishing off one project, and here we're starting another. So for the last couple of years, we've been working on what we're now calling the American Wilderness Odyssey, which is basically 15 songs about that experience we've all got, the southern states and the music and the stories, reinterpreted through our own world. And that's gone really well. I mean, it's been, thanks to people like you guys, actually, you know, it's stunning, really. I mean, it's getting thousands and thousands of hits on Spotify, and I think the EP this month has done about 39,000 listens, you know, which in our world is decent stuff.
No, it's lovely.
Yeah,
you definitely get more hits than I am.
Yeah, and then we just put into the Arts Council, and we've got to say that today, we've got to do that, by the way. Thank them for that, because we said, look, we want to go further down the road with this sort of music, this artisan idea, the things that inspire us, take it further. And so we're just starting here on the project we've called Down Here at the Crossroads, which will be next year's recording.
Right.
So we're starting it now, and so this music won't come out till March, April next year. And then we imagine that will be the routine, that will come back here in another 3 months and keep going. And yeah, it's interesting already, the next phase of music is starting to sound very different to the stuff we've done so far, which pleases me greatly, because I think we should always try and evolve.
Yeah, the music's on the journey. The music's on the journey as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's kind of inevitable after, you know, a lot of the songs we recorded in the last 18 months were started 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And we've all been through a journey in 2020 in its own, you know, varied way. So we're going to end up in a different place. But I mean, all the time when we're recording stuff or rehearsing stuff, preparing for recording, I'm seeing the threads through the songs from when we first started making stuff together 4 years ago or whatever, and there's threads running through, and the threads sort of branch off and they get, you know, thicker and more varied, but I can see that all of the stuff is connected. But if you compare some of the songs we're recording here with the songs we first recorded, there is a stark, you know, you can hear the difference. But hopefully the core of it, I mean, I'm confident the core of it is still, you know, the long road stuff. It's that artisan idea, and it's the telling these real stories.
We've also the three of us bring completely different things to the table, and you find that over the time as you work together, it's like putting three liquids, and gradually as it sort of shakes, it all distills into the right blend, you know, and that's where we're going now. You feel that it's we all know what. I came into the studio for this session, for example, kind of knowing where the songs were going to go, whereas previously when we've come in, we weren't quite sure. You know, we said, well, yeah, that's probably going to work. But now, because we know how we sound and we know what we're all bringing to the table, you kind of know what's going to be done with the song. So I think our style is coalescing whilst moving forward. Yeah.
I love that. That's what I love about a real band. You do evolve, and you've got those real life things. Whereas if you've got, let's just say you've got a solo artist who's had to go on tour and he's got his session musicians, and it's all very perfect, but everything's always, you know, note to note perfect. But there's no, they don't have the soul of a real band who've lived and breathed and evolved together and are doing what you guys are doing. What I like about the video with the tin shack and the beautiful backdrop there. Your bass guitar, that bass guitar of yours, what is that?
That is a completely unique bass guitar, actually.
I had to ask because I just.
It's funny you should mention this guitar is very popular. A friend of mine from, I don't know if you remember the American band Styx.
Yeah, with the white.
Yeah, Glenn Burtnick, who was with Styx for a couple of albums. he actually got in touch with me and he said, what is that? What is that guitar? Because he likes his bass guitar. And it's, I found the body of it online. It had been left over in a factory and never done anything with. And I love the Dan Electro Longhorn style thing, so I got that because it's a semi-acoustic. And then I spent ages sourcing original Dan Electro pieces like the neck, a vintage pickup, bridge, and all these kind of things for it. And then the problem was I didn't want it to have a tailpiece, so if I had a normal bridge on it, in normal circumstances it would rip out of the body because the guitar wouldn't be strong enough because it's hollow. So I got a friend of mine who's a luthier. I said, can you come up with anything to do this? So he spoke to an engineer and he got an engineer to design a 3 brass post system to hold the bridge in place.
Wow.
So, and then he built the whole guitar for me. And he rang me and he said, it's ready. He said, you're going to want to hear this. And I went along and picked it up, and without even plugging it in, just playing, I'm like, oh, this is good. And just purely by accident, the fact that it's got these brass posts that go through the body just gives it a certain resonance.
Yeah, the resonance goes through the brass,
I don't like, it's in Spain at the moment, and I don't like scared travelling with it because it's quite a delicate instrument, but it's my favourite guitar and it's completely unique. There isn't another one like it.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's definitely a standout feature of the, you know, it's just, it's amazing. So what's your favourite guitar at the moment then, Steve? What are you?
Cracky.
I can tell you.
Is that a difficult question?
No, I'll tell you the answer, but then I have to put a health warning up front that I'm so untechnical, you know. I don't always remember the name of my guitars, and I'm a great disappointment to that question usually. So I have a bleeding clue what the model number is, so don't go there. Anyway, what I'm playing, most of my guitars now have been bought after midnight in the state of either stress or ecstasy, alcohol ecstasy, not. For years, I had 2 guitars. Like, sensible, like, you don't have 3 hammers at home, do you? You have a light hammer and a heavy hammer. So I had 2 guitars, an electric one.
I have to borrow Matt's hammer.
A Fender, and I had a beautiful old Yamaha acoustic guitar. And then I started to get pain in my shoulder, which lots of acoustic guitarists do, because they were bigger guitars, not good for you for long term. So I thought I'll have a guitar made for myself, so I had and that was the tipping point, really. That's when the addiction began.
Right, yeah.
It feels like Alcoholics Anonymous. I am a guitar user. So I've now got about 14 guitars. And you know, so at the moment I'm playing with a Martin Street something, which I just made which I bought because I landed in America last year, and usually I borrow a Martin guitar from my mate over there because it saves taking it through and having a discussion with American immigration people.
Yeah.
But
I want to know what's inside the guitar.
I wasn't going to play. I wasn't due to meet him till the Monday, and as I landed, I got a message saying, "You're on in Nashville tomorrow." It was Saturday, and so I said, "Oh, sugar, you know, I haven't got a guitar. What an excuse, never mind, I'll go and buy one." So and actually I love it. So I had a guitar made, I've got that Martin now. The guitar made was by a luthier up in Derbyshire. And then when I came off the trail, I wandered into Carter's Vintage Guitars in Nashville. And I remember saying to my companion, "Look, bind me with string and put wax in my ears. I do not need another guitar." And left with a National Steel.
That's if you're going to take one of those on tour.
And then the guitar that's been a real star on this album was definitely bought after midnight, because I didn't even know I bought it. And then I got a message a week later saying, "When are you going to come and pick it up?" And I had to go back and I'd put a bid in on eBay, I'd forgotten about it. And that's an Avenue 5 archtop jazzy guitar thing. You'll hear it on the album from both of us playing it. It's just a beautiful guitar. Lovely.
Wow.
Well, I could go on.
I could talk guitar all day. Seriously, I can. But I have to just mention, when we first walked in, we heard the Hammond organ being recorded. That's Chris's department, obviously. So, do you actually take a Hammond organ on tour with you, or is that just too much? Have you got a substitute? They're heavy, aren't they?
They are heavy. I mean, I don't have a Hammond organ at home, unfortunately. So I've been using a synthesizer version, so you can get really good load, in an iPad these days, or even on your phone, you can get loads of good sounds built into it. And I've got this little keyboard that I can plug in, so I can recreate some of the sounds. But there is nothing like the beast that's in the studio here.
Yeah.
Because there's this huge spinning speaker that has to, that adds to the ambience. You can't recreate that digitally in this thing. And things like, I remember years ago when me and Steve started making music together, he would tell me about this sound here. Sort of things like the dust underneath the keys that make the click sound a certain sound when you press the keys down. You can't recreate that on a digital keyboard. No. So we just have to accept that. Until we're big enough that we're going to have a road crew and a lorry to move all our gear around, there's somebody else to take the thing into the venues.
In every sense, it's organic. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you'll be waiting that long.
Well, I'm old enough to remember carrying sawn in half Hammonds up the bloody stairs to gigs, and God, I hate it.
I mean, I love the idea of having one, but I think the actual practicality of having one far outweighs,
We probably should mention actually, because we had a huge intellectual debate, because one of the rules we've set ourselves, which we debate every time we record, is we want to be the loudest, heaviest acoustic band around.
Everything louder than everything else.
Yeah, but everything you've heard from us, think if you've heard something, everything is acoustic. And people don't get that.
No.
They don't understand it because it sounds so heavy. And we decided we're going to call it heavy wood. Opposite of heavy metal. We do heavy wood. Anyway, we then hit this issue, like, could we possibly fudge it a bit to make the Hammond organ an acoustic instrument? And we decided, as it involves bellows and spinning speakers, it's nearly human, isn't it? It's nearly acoustic. It's certainly different to a synth. We don't really do synth on anything really. Yeah. And that's part of our sound. It's like a challenge. Like how big can you make the sound without just plugging it?
It can fire your creativity because you have to find a way to make sounds without too much help, if you like. So I think it kind of helps what we do. It's sort of like, well, okay, I'll try and make the guitar do that.
So could you this is just me not being too technical, but could you theoretically unplug a Hammond organ totally and just get it totally running off the wind with it?
Well, yeah, I'm sure it must have been a state.
A constant bellows thing, and then you're there, right?
Like old-fashioned church organs or a harmonium,
we could have people.
Yeah, we could have people. Yeah.
Get some stuff in for that.
It's at this point where I suddenly remember about the giant church organ that doesn't run off for 240 mains.
Well, often they do now, actually.
I don't know.
But things like harmoniums are a version of an organ that very popular in homes that you just have to pump with your foot to keep the sound going. And it's the same thing with bellows that are powered by that. So yeah, maybe there is.
I seem to remember when we were kids, Steve, actually having an unlikely lineup.
Oh God, yeah, I've forgotten.
What's his name? That guy.
Glenn.
He played.
I'm not saying his first name because he's out there.
A pedal-operated harmonium on stage. It was around the glam rock era, and he had rather large horn rim specs on, but he did put all the glitter and mascara under them.
Eyeshadow, didn't he?
Yeah. And he sat on stage playing a harmonium with pedals.
Little Willie Buds. I've forgotten that. Well, they are.
We had a strange child.
Sounds like a great child.
Yeah.
Come on, feel the noise.
Yeah. Come on, feel the bellows.
When we first got in here, oddly enough, we were talking about shoes, weren't we? We were talking about why do Converse copies have to be more expensive than actual Converse? And you were saying how you ruined a set of your
my Italian handmade, hand-stitched Converse copies, yes, at a waterlogged gig in the Czech Republic.
If you're going out on tour, you need to take the right shoes. So, with any luck, if all this COVID stuff's open, done by next April, May, when the album's out, will you be taking that on tour?
Yeah.
Would that be UK or global?
Well, it'd be nice to go global. We've done Germany. That was an experience. Yeah. These two are hardcore rockers.
Oh, you get along fine with the Germans then, because they love
11 at night. Kev's there with his warm milk on his Rice Krispies, and Chris is making a bacon sandwich. The only person within 100 miles of the beer is me. I mean, that is us on tour. Yeah, no, well, we've definitely got some gigs in the new year. We have to for this Arts Council thing. So we're putting together a little festival next year. Graham Steele, I don't know if you know Graham, the promoter, he's looking after us now, so he's busy putting stuff together for this year.
I think we're chomping at the bit together.
Well, it's
really.
yeah.
Not everybody is.
Same for everybody, I've not been in one place. I came here and I've been down to see my daughter once. I basically stayed in the same place for 9 months, and the last time I did that I was 16 or something. So it's just a really weird, travel all over the place. So yeah, we'll be out there next year.
I really do hope you will be out there, because I, for one, will be definitely coming to the gig, and I'm sure Matt will. We'll all come up en masse and drink some beer. It's funny what you should say about the beer, though, because and rock musicians and beer, because I know a guy called Lawrence who sings in a band called Voodoo Vegas, and I always describe them as the hardest working rock band that I know.
Yeah.
So one time Lawrence says to me, "Oh, do you want to come back to my house and drink some Jack Daniels?" And I'm like, yeah, okay then. He's not really known for drinking Jack Daniels. He looks the part and he sounds the part, but when we get back to his house, he usually just puts a Jack Daniels, he puts it on the side, then he puts the kettle on, makes himself a cup of tea, goes, right, there's the Jack Daniels, help yourself, I'm off to bed. So I sat up in his lounge playing the PlayStation and just getting through the Jack Daniels. But he's the rocker, I'm not, I'm the indie weirdo.
Yeah. That's why he's still playing, to be fair. I mean, you're the same, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
People meet Kev.
I'll be dead by now.
In the kind of more polite audiences we play with, some of the folk music, and they are frightened. I mean, he's got the whole kit, he's got 16 crucifixes he got on the last Viking tour when he raided the northeast of England. He's got boots with kind of sharpened bits on the front, and his favourite thing is a cup of very mild coffee at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's rock and roll for you.
Yeah.
So, is Mark Radcliffe aware of your? Has he heard you? Is he aware of your work?
He studiously ignores us.
Oh really? I was going to say, because I was listening to his show yesterday. He always calls it folk, though, doesn't he? Folk music.
Right.
He's the only person who pronounces it folk.
No, we have to do it. If anyone knows him, let us know. No, it's very. The BBC is not helpful.
Crack,
So we leave it as that. They're not helpful at all. They don't get artisan music. They don't get music outside of the big urban spaces, really.
Well, he played some Barbara Dixon last night on the folk show.
Yeah,
Really?
Because Barbara Dixon apparently had her roots in folk music.
She did.
She did.
Folk
Okay,
music
she did.
Back in the day. And I was actually impressed. It was the best thing I'd ever heard. But
Way back before Anthony. Yeah.
Well, even if the BBC continue to just, go about it with their blinkers, we will always be open to new music. And we love these guys, Steve Bonham and The Long Road. We wish you well with the American Wilderness Odyssey and all the beautiful music. And thank you for bringing joy into our lives. And thank you for doing this interview with us. This is Steve Bonham, the legend himself, that's Kev. And this is Chris.
Guys.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. And
Yes, you're very welcome.
this has been an OriGenaros special. Thanks to Matt, the cameraman, as well.